Okay, welcome everyone. So today we are going to start overview of basic time series econometrics commands in R Studio. So this tutorial will cover the basic concept, and this file will add on to and move towards the complicated models. So first of all, we'll start with the R command file. Here I am showing this command. First one, rm is list is equal to ls bracket open close. So this command is actually used if you have already opened many data files and they are shown in the dataset environment. Or so if you run this command, it will clear the data file from all the data sets which are already loaded in the in the R Studio, so that you can start from new. So now there are many libraries that will be used in this in this session. So I have given reason for all of them, but it's not necessary that we may use it in the first tutorial. But first is library dynamic linear model. It's for dynamic linear models, and the library for zoo is for time series functions. Read Excel for read Excel files. Tidyverse for data manipulation, LM test for the autocorrelation tests, TTR for time series functions. It's some functions are taken from here. Sandwich model is for to calculate variant covariance matrices. It will be used in the advanced models. CAR is used for calculating Delbert-Watson test and robust standard errors. Robust standard error, and then T series is for time series unit 2 tests, and UCR is for uh, integration tests, and then ADF tests, and ECM is for error correction model. Forecast is for doing the forecasting, and PD fetch is the command from where we can access financial data. And then NITR is used for presenting good tables. Model R is used to extract residuals and storing in the data file. And then ASTSA is applies statistical time series analysis that will be done on the data sets. So these commands will be used, these libraries will be used in the data set. So first of all, we'll read the data file. I've already shared you the data file. It's the first of all, I will read it. So it is the data file name equal to read Excel command and the directory of the data file. When you execute it, it will read the Excel file. So when you click it, you will see it's a data of the first column is years from 1982 to 2016, then agriculture, GDP, industry, rail, road, sea, services, and air. So these are the variables for real sector, GDP, and the logistics. So we have this data file. Now this command is an example to be used if you need to transform the variables from if you need to take a log or need to calculate a square form or a cross product. So the command uses mutate. Mutate means it will create a new variable and store it in the data file. So first I will do is I will calculate the log of the variable. Mutate LGDB is equal to log of GDP. Second, if you want to do is df equal to select the data file, add, and mutate. We need to calculate a square form. So I will do is agree to is equal to agree multiplied by agree. So what it will do is it will calculate a new variable, but its spelling is wrong. So we will see what are the spellings. It's capital. It's in capital. So we have to write it in agree. So the errors are self-explanatory. So by practice, you will remember what is the meaning of the error, and then by then you will be able to correct it by reading the error name. So as you can see the data file, there is log of GDP and agree square. So this way you can add on variables that you want to calculate in R. But the problem is there is one problem that we'll discuss in the later on. Second is we need to, if you need to do is to make univariate plots. Univariate plots means there is only one variable and the second variable is the time. So what the command is, it's ggplot. This command comes under tidyverse. So ggplot. So ggplot, and then you will write the data file name plus you will add a line plot, and in mapping you will add x-axis and y-axis. Then you add labels. So when you run these two lines together, we can understand that if it's one command because there's a plus sign between them. So when I run it by pressing Control plus Enter, so you will be able to see a line plot. So it's a univariate. So there is only one variable. So this way you can plot as many univariate plots you want to plot. So, but if you wanted to do a multivariate plot, the graph is little tricky, because if the multivariate plot both of the variables have same axis or same scale, then you can plot it using geomplot. So for example, I will copy this command and I will add it on here. So rather than LGDP, I will plot AGRI first, and then copy this geomplot geomline function, and then here in second one I will add the what you call industry. Its spelling is IND. Let's confirm. Spelling is IND. Yes. So this way now labels will not work because there are two variables. So on y-axis I will add real sector. So when I plot it, and then the title will not be there. This is not a relevant title. So when I plot this, now there are two geom lines, and so you can see there are two data sets. The problem is now you have to add labels in it. So how you can do it, that is using the commands that I will show it later on. So this way you can add two graphs together if they have same scale. So both of the variables were in the percentage of GDP. So this way because we know that minimum value is 0 and maximum is 100, both have same scale. So you made it. We are able to make two graphs like this. So if the graphs have different scale, so then it is a bit tricky. So for that there's a complicated command that I've shown here. So it's a plot, and when you have to call a variable from a data file, that is df $data year on x-axis, df $log of GDP on y-axis. Then first command, I don't want to draw axis because it will be drawn later on. Then it's a point size 15, it's type B, bold, and color is black, and the title of the graph is this, and XY labels are empty. So when I do this, it will only show the line because there is no graph, there is no labels. And then in second point, I will add the label for x-axis, and then in third line, it is labeling the name LGDB, and then the fourth line, it will draw a box, and then bar new is equal to true means it will be ready to add the next graph on the same graph rather than making a new graph. So plot df $here, comma df $agree, and all the things are there. So it is a agriculture graph, and I will add a text on the other side. So let's open it up. So axis 2, so it's shown here. So and then I need to add y-axis and x-axis and its name, and then add a legend. So when I zoom it up, so you will see that there is data for both of the variables. So this way, if the scale is different, you can draw the graph for the variables that you're using. So here actually my dependent variable this variable is log. That's why you see it seems that scale is almost same, but 29 and 30 and 22, 28, but it can be used for different scales. Then we go towards estimating simple regression in time series data frame. For that, the command is fit dot lm linear model dependent variable, curly means from equal to, and services road rail and road air and rail, and select the data file. So I have randomly selected variable and created a fit model, and then if I do summary, and then I execute it, you will be able to see the estimation results. So these are the estimation results. So all other the variables are significant. In the time series, you will tend to notice that R square is usually very high, so it's around 98%, and the F value is usually very high because the variables are moving in time jointly, so they tend to have high F tests and high R square values. So it is showing that all variables are positively affecting other than the real. So that the real variable is actually decreasing in time. That's why it has a negative effect. So this way we can estimate the regression now. So since the data is time series, the most common problem that it may face is the presence of non-stationary nature, presence of autocorrelation in the residuals. So we will check the autocorrelation here. So the command that is used is Durbin-Watson test on the fit model. If you execute it, it will say that overall model is it will say that the autocorrelation lag test is 0.67 and its p-value is 0. So alternate hypothesis is the rho means the lag of the lag effect of residual is not 0. So it means there is autocorrelation in the model. So Durbin-Watson test is significantly not 0. So there is a effect of past residuals on the present. So we can say that there is autocorrelation. Similarly, we can use the DW test. There is another command, DW test. You can use this one. So it is saying the Durbin-Watson value is same as the previous one, 0.5634, 0.5634. Its p-value is less than 0.05. So there is true autocorrelation is greater than 0. It means there is autocorrelation. Okay, so this way you can confirm that there is autocorrelation. Then there is a BG test. So if you execute the BG test, so this is the third test that can be checked. So BG test uses the Borosh-Gottfried test for serial autocorrelation. It uses the LM test. It is a significant as 0.05, which is also confirming that there is autocorrelation. So we have confirmed that using three tests that there is presence of autocorrelation in the model. So we have discussed that when we estimate an OLS in a time series data frame, so it is expected that there will be autocorrelation. So we use three different commands to check the autocorrelation, and then now we can do the graphical method. So there is a graph command called lag plot. So it uses the residual which we have generated. We have generated here. I have not stored the residual. So residual is actually equal to residual is equal to RESID fit. So this command will store the residual in the computer. So you can see the residual as a data frame. So when you see here and when I plot this, so it will be shown like this. So you can see here the residuals are here and the lag in one previous time period residuals are here. And if you see the scatter plot, it's positively sloped. It means past lag residuals are positively correlated with present lag residuals. So ideally it should be horizontal. So this confirms that there is autocorrelation. Similarly, we can do use lag1 plot. So if we wanted to go with, there's another command. This plots like this. So residual and its lag, and there's a positive slope, and it also plots its correlation value. So this confirms that there is a positive correlation between present and past lags. So it was assumed in OLS the residuals are random in nature, but in time series we found out that residuals are actually not random in nature. They are actually correlated with the past. So now we can now this command will store the residuals into the data file. So if I run this command, so it will add the data file, and you can see it here says residual are in the data frame. So if